أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد والثناء لله رب العالمين باره الخلائق أجمعين الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في كتابه المجيد وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس أنتم الفقراء إلى الله صلوا على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, anyone who is watching from anywhere around the world. Unfortunately, we could not be together in physical proximity, but inshallah, I hope that the short time that we have, we can benefit from this month of Sha'ban, this month of mercy, the month of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I have just a few points for tonight that I want to share with all of our viewers tonight, inshallah, if you bear with me. Recently, we had the wiladat of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, and I thought on this Thursday night, why not take an opportunity to discuss perhaps, one of the themes that appears in the dua literature of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. Oftentimes we say that in the 3 decades of the imamat of Imam Sajjad, more than 3 decades, that the way that he was teaching the community was through the du'as. But perhaps we don't spend too much time thinking about what exactly was he teaching in these du'as. Was he just teaching the recitation, or have we ever spent a lot of time looking at the contents that are within this these du'as that he has? Du'as not just in the Sahifa Sajjadiyya, but there are also other du'as that are attributed to him in other works of hadith as well. So inshallah, that is my plan for tonight. I have some slides that I want to show as well. But before I begin that, I want to share one interesting story from the time of Imam Sajjad, and that will be the context for the rest of my discussion. There was a time, one day, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam was walking in the streets of Medina, and he sees a man sitting at the door of an individual. So remember, this is the time of Bani Umayyah. And he walks past this man, and this man is sitting at the door of this individual, and he is begging for money, basically. He's begging, and he has something that he wants from this man. So the Imam walks past him, and he says, "Why are you sitting at the doorstep of this man?" And he says, in fact, Imam Sajjad says, "Why are you sitting at the doorstep of this cruel and zalim person?" Okay, we don't know who was this person, but maybe it was someone from the Bani Umayyah, maybe it was someone, whoever, we don't know. But the Imam says, "Why are you sitting at the doorstep of this cruel individual, this zalim, this fasiq?" And the person says, "Bala, calamity. I don't want to be sitting at the door of this person, but my life circumstances and my situation that I am in has forced me and has essentially pressured me into coming to the door of this person and begging to him." So the Imam says, "You know what? Give me your hand, show me your hand, and I will take you to a door that is a much better door, and that door, the provider of that door, is much better than the door of this individual that you are sitting in front of." So the Imam took his hand and he took him to the grave of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said to the man that face the Qibla and perform 2 units of salat, and then raise your hands for dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praise him, do his hamd, and send salawat upon the Prophet and his al, and then make dua after you recite the last ayah of Surah Al-Hashr, the first 6 ayat of Surah Al-Hadid, and 2 ayat from Surah Ali Imran. Okay, and the 2 ayat are basically ayah number 18 and ayah number 26. If you do this amal and make your dua, Allah, you will not ask for a thing except that Allah will grant it. And I wanted to start with this because if you just read this narration and you will say, okay, mashallah, there was a person who was dependent on this individual who was a zalim, And Imam Sajjad came and he says, here, make this dua, and you do not have to be in need and you do not have to be dependent on these individuals, because it is putting you in a state of humiliation. It is putting you in a state where your dignity is being jeopardized. But what's interesting is this is not a one-off incident or a one-off theme in the life of the Imam. Okay, and there's reasons for that. One of the main reasons is after the Battle of Karbala, many of you know, Yazid and the Umayyads, they came back and they attacked the city of Mecca, they attacked the city of Medina, and the Al Marwan were ruling in Medina, and there was a lot of political corruption, and to the extent that many of the Ansar, Ansar were the original residents of Medina, it had become the situation had changed so much that the Ansar were primarily actually renting property rather than owning property. So there was a lot of faqr and poverty that had spread in Medina amongst his residents, while the people who were loyal to the Bani Umayyah and the Marwanid government and the governors, they were obviously rich, and they were stealing the money, and there was a lot of corruption and so on. But the actual residents of Medina had become very, very poor. So this incident, this story that we have, it's recorded in Bihar al-Anwar. It is not a one-off incident. Rather, you will see now, inshallah, I will show you, in the du'as of Imam Sajjad, this is going to become a very, very prevalent theme. And what is that theme? That theme is that you need to ensure that you are not dependent on anyone else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your life. Because any dependency that you have on any other creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala necessitates a level of humiliation for you. Now it depends what type of humiliation, right? Sometimes the needs that we have from other people are very intense. Sometimes they're very trivial. But even in the trivial ones, this one-way need that we have towards people can result in a type of humiliation and a disgrace to our nobility. Okay, so I'm going to inshallah show a couple of inshallah the slides that I have prepared tonight that I wanted to show. So inshallah I will read the excerpts from some of the du'as. This is not from any one du'a, this is a compilation, because as I said, we're focusing on the themes that are in the du'as. So let's pay attention to some of the statements. Imam Sajjad, he talks about this idea of independence from other people. Okay, not having no dependence on other people. He says, "Walhamdulillahi alladhi wakalani ilayhi fa'akramani wa lam yakilni ila an-nasi fayuhinuni." All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has who has accepted me to depend upon him and has bestowed his favors upon me. And oh Allah, all praise be to you that you have not left me to the people. Okay, you have not left me dependent on people, because they will definitely humiliate me. If you leave me dependent on people, and they are my wakil, then and I have to do tawakkul on them, then definitely this will result in a type of humiliation for me. So you will realize this idea of dependency on others equals, or the concept is tied very closely to the idea of humiliation. Dhillah. Look at this. He says, so Imam Sajjad alayhi salam also has a dua of Arafat. As we know, Imam Hussein alayhi salam has one. Imam Sajjad also has a dua of Arafat, in which he says, "O Allah, wasun wajhi an al-talabi ila ahad min al-alamin wa dhubbani an al-iltimasi ma 'inda al-fasiqin." O Allah, safeguard my face. Safeguard my face meaning save my reputation. Okay, save my izzah from asking from anyone in this world. Oh Allah, don't put me in a situation where I have to go to the doors of other people and I have to ask and request them for things, and drive me far from iltimas, from begging and from seeking for that which is with the fasiqeen. Oh Allah, keep me away from that situation where I have to go and my need can only be fulfilled by a fasiq. And this is not just in individual circumstances, even in communal circumstances and national circumstances, context can be the same. Sometimes you can have a Muslim nation or Muslim nations who are completely dependent on the fasiqeen and the zalimeen. You have to ask and beg for the zalimeen to stop harming us, stop harming our believers around the world, and we are completely dependent on them. This is definitely a sign of humiliation. Sometimes it is economic dependency, whether on a national level or on a communal level or on an individual level. Your entire livelihood, you have tied it to either an individual or whoever, and that results in a type of humiliation. Okay, so Imam Sajjad is teaching us these dua that look, the ideal state for a believer is to be in a state where they are not dependent like this on other people, especially when it comes to the fasiqeen. Now someone may say, hey, what do you mean don't be dependent? We are humans, we are all dependent on each other. I can't operate, I need people around me, I need to interact with people. How can I now have independence? So look, there's a disclaimer here. And the disclaimer here is that the needs and the dependency that we are talking about is when it's a one-way dependency. Otherwise, dependency, or rather interdependency, that emerges or originates from natural needs, okay, these are not the ones that are being condemned. For example, if I have a store, I'm selling, I don't know, fruits, and I sell fruits and vegetables. So I have a need, and my need is that I need some customers. I need customers to come and buy my fruits and vegetables so that I can make money. And then the customer also has a need. The customer also needs to feed himself and feed his family, so he also needs to buy some fruits and vegetables. So when a transaction takes place between a customer, a buyer, and a seller, there's a need on both sides, but they are both on equal footing and their feet are on equal setting. There's no element of humiliation on one side or the other. One side does not feel I have greater leverage over you and I have greater power over you, and in fact you are the one that needs me, I don't need you. That idea is not here. Same with, for example, a spousal relationship, a husband and wife. That is not a one-way relationship, it's a two-way relationship. Both the husband needs the wife needs the husband. Same with children. Children need you, you also need your children. So these are all two-way needs. These are not the ones that are being discussed in this dua literature. Okay, that is just a natural need, and we have to have those, but they should be on equal footing. The content of the dua is talking about situations where there is now a one-way need. You have put yourself in a situation where you're completely dependent on someone for your either livelihood, for your sustenance, for your anything, any need. Okay, so this is what he's saying. So I've written here that the need that is being condemned is when you are at the disposal of another creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, either due to poverty or due to corruption, due to political circumstances, and so on, economic circumstances. And so look at this, what he says in his dua. He says, Allahumma inni akhlastu bin qita'i ilayk وقلبت مسألتي عمن لم يستغني عن فضلك ورأيت أن طلب المحتاج إلى المحتاج سفه من رأيه وضلة من عقله. O Allah, I showed my sincerity by cutting myself off from everyone except you. I don't feel that I have the need or a one-way dependency and a one-way need to anyone except you. Allah is the only one we have a one-way dependency on. And I stopped to ask anyone who cannot do anything without your favors in the first place. Meaning, as he says in the next line, I saw that a needy person, a muhtaj person, when he seeks from another muhtaj, Imam Sajjad says that I realize this is safahun min ra'ihi, this is a foolish thing to do. If the person that you are seeking from, what they have is also from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so they themselves don't have anything, so why are you as a muhtaj going to another muhtaj? If I don't have money, and if I'm a beggar and I go to another beggar and ask them and beg them for money, this is a foolish thing to do. Why would you go to another beggar? So in this sense, what Imam Sajjad is saying, that look, nobody owns anything of their own. Everything is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for you to feel this, without this in the person, nothing of mine can be achieved. Nothing in my life can work. This is safahun min ra'ihi wa dallatun min aqli. Yaslan, your aql is misguided. Your decision making is off the charts. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhan nas, which is the ayah I quoted, Ya ayyuhan nas, antumul fuqara ilallah. You are fuqara ilallah, you are mutlaqul haja, meaning your need and your dependency, all of it from your entire perspective is completely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody else. You know, the example some of the scholars give for this is your irada, right? So when you think, so for a moment, everybody is watching right now, either on their nice, comfortable couch, comfy couch. Maybe some of you are eating popcorn. I don't know what's going on. But just do a thought experiment for a moment, just to kind of feel what it means to be, you know, fuqara ilallah. What does it mean? Think for a moment, just in your mind, if you close your eyes, think for a moment. Make a decision that, you know what, I want to drink water. Okay, just think about it for a moment. I want to drink water. Think about it. And on the count of 3, you need to stop thinking about it and start looking at the screen again. Okay, so think about it. I want to drink water. Okay, so everyone's thinking. So 1, 2, 3, and you can look back at me. That decision that you were making ceases to exist completely, right? When you were thinking about that, I want to drink water, that entire irada, that entire idea has wiped off the face of the planet. Doesn't exist anymore. If you are thinking about it now, it's basically you recalling a memory of the past. That's it. It's gone. So that was something that you created in your own mind, and the moment you stopped thinking about it, it stopped existing. Allah, our relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like that. The moment He stops entertaining us for a billionth of a millisecond, that's it. We're finished. We're gone into thin air. Even that is, I'm saying it as a metaphor. So, Ya ayyuhan nas antumul fuqara ilallah, wallahu huwal ghaniyun hamid. Allah is the one who is ghani. You are just completely dependent on Him from all aspects. Okay, someone may say, you know, why are you making this a big deal? Who cares? Okay, sometimes you are put into situations where you have these one-way needs. You know, there's this idea of necessary evil. The world is built in a way where sometimes you have to be in a situation where there is a one-way need. Like right now, the Muslim Ummah, unfortunately, is in this situation, right? We're asking for the, people who don't even share our faith or religion to, hey, stop killing our people. We are at their mercy and disposal, and they could care less. This is a sad situation to be in. Okay, but what are the consequences? So what if we are in that situation? No, the du'as tell you there are going to be consequences. Actually, there's going to be consequences if you continue to remain in that state. Okay, so for example, one consequence is that you will lose tranquility and peace of mind in your own lives. Okay, when you have a one-way dependency on someone, you are completely at their mercy. They can decide whatever to do. They can decide to help you one day, they can decide to ignore you the next day. When you are completely at their mercy, your constant thoughts are just about that. Is this person going to help me? They helped me this month. Are they going to help me next month as well? They, got me out of this situation. Will they get me out of another situation again? So your thoughts are always occupied with that. So he says in this dua, Allahumma aghnina an hibatil wahabina bihibatik. Oh Allah, remove my need of the gifts of the givers through your gifts, okay, or through the donations of the donors, okay, through your gifts. Oh Allah, remove this need that I have. If a donor won't donate to me, that's it, I'm done. Remove this need that I have. Remove this, feeling that I have that is only because of this donor or this person who's gifting me. It is only because of them. If they're not there, that's it, my entire life is finished. Okay, but Allah, replace that feeling through your gifts. Okay, remove this feeling of need and this one-way dependency. If I have this feeling, remove it from my heart and replace it with your gifts. But even more than that, okay, when that person decides to leave, when that person that you were dependent on, when they decide to leave you, you fear that day, right? You fear, oh my God, if the donor leaves me tomorrow, I'm gonna be lonely. We're gonna be alone. How are we gonna get out of this situation? وَقْفِنَا وَحْشَةَ الْقَاطِعِينَ بِصِلَتِكَ. Oh Allah, spare us the loneliness and the fear of those who break off through your joining. Don't make me fear the day that if somebody who did me a lot of favors decides to walk away. Remove this feeling of fear from my heart. How? by letting me feel that Allah, at least you're with me. You have joined me. You have joined my cause. حتى لا نرغب إلى أحد مع بذلك, so that we may besiege no one along with your free giving. You don't have any restraints. You don't have any constraints, Allah. You will give, non-stop. ولا نستوحش من أحد مع فضلك, and that we may feel lonely at no one's absence along with your bounty. As long as I know that, oh Allah, you are the one giving, and your bounties are there, then I should not feel, I should not remove the feeling of fear from my heart. Okay, look at more. There's more. ولا تكلني إلى خلقك بل تفرد بحاجتي وتولى كفايتي. O Allah, do not entrust me to your creatures and take care of my need alone. And in fact, you alone are sufficient for me. وانظر إلي وانظر لي في جميع أموري. Look upon me and look after me in all of my affairs, O Allah. Because if you trust me to my own self, عجزت عنها. Meaning, oh Allah, I don't even know if I can take care of myself. Why? وَلَمْ أُقِمْ مَا فِيهِ مَصْلَحَتُهَا. Because I don't even know if every decision I make for myself is actually in my best interest or not. So Allah, even when it's to do with myself, I don't even trust myself. Allah, I only trust you. Be with me. Be with me. Support me so anything I do is in my best interest. And if you entrust me to your creatures, they will frown upon me. Okay, they will humiliate me. And if you make me resort to my own family members, they will refuse to give me my own family members. Oh Allah, don't even entrust me to my own family members. And if my family members do give me, they will give me very little, and usually with a bad, temper, and the family is thinking, good riddance. When will this, uncle and auntie or chacha or chati or mamu or cousin, when are they going to stop asking me for money? That's what the family is thinking. So that situation creates issues between families, the own blood relationship between family members, because there's a one-way need. Now this sort of loss of tranquility and harmony and the silatul rahim that is supposed to be there, that begins to diminish that situation. And my own family will make me feel obliged. وَضَمُّ كَثِيرًا, and they will keep blaming me. Oh, you're useless, you never do any work, you're always looking at me, you're always asking from us money. So even from my own family, oh Allah, don't make me in a situation where I have this one-way dependency, even on my own family members. Through your bounties, وَبِفَضْلِكَ اللَّهُمَّ فَأَغْنِنِي وَبِعَظَمَتِكَ فَانْعَشَنِي. Oh Allah, through your bounty, free me from the need that I have. Okay, and through your mightiness, through your azama, lift me up. Okay, give me the courage, give me the motivation, give me the strength to deal with these issues. I will skip this slide over here so I don't be short on time. I just want to mention this point as well. It's important. Sometimes these one-way needs, another consequence of it is that you lose your own morals. Okay, you lose your own morals. How do you lose your own morals? Well, he tells you in the dua. He says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali wa sun wajhi bil yasar. Okay, save my face, save my reputation, save my image, O Allah, through making my life situation easy. وَلَا تَبْتَذِلْ جَاهِي بِالْإِقْطَارِ فَاسْتَرْزِقَ أَهْلَ رِزْقِكَ. And do not demean my dignity through neediness, lest I seek provision from those who you have provided. Okay, so so Allah, don't make me lose my dignity by making me needy to a person, because I will have to seek provision from those people, that even those people you have provided to them. And don't make me ask from the worst of your creatures. شِرَارَ خَلْقِكَ. Why? So this is the point about losing your morals. فَافْتَتِنَا بِحَمْدِ مَنْ أَعْطَانِي. Because then I'm gonna be tested by having to praise the one who has given me this money or this gift or whatever. So if oh Allah, don't put me in a situation where the most evil of your people, the zalimin and the fasiqeen, don't put me in a situation where I have to ask them for help, and when they help me, well, now I have to praise them, now I have to thank them, now I have to big them up in front of the global world in the community, and I have to parade them, because they're the ones who have helped me. Well, that's a loss of morals. You have sacrificed your principles over there. وَأُبْتُلَى بِذَمِّ مَنْ مَنَعَنِي وَأَنْتَ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ وَلِيُّ الْإِعْطَاءِ وَالْمَنْ. And then on the contrary, on the opposite, if somebody, I'm asking someone for something because of a one-way need, and they decide not to give me anything, now I will be afflicted with blaming them because they didn't give me something. Maybe let's say we are dependent on some of our family members. Let's say one-way need towards our family members. And we don't know what the situation of the people is. Maybe our family member can't help us at that time. Well, if they don't help us, now I am going to end up blaming them. What kind of a brother is this? What kind of a uncle was that? What kind of a cousin is this? And I'm going to now blame them and badmouth them and speak about them, against them and in the community and so on. So both ways. When the worst people help you, I will lose my morals because I will have to praise them. And when the best people are unable to help you sometimes, I will be tested by I'm going to start blaming them and accusing them. This is a loss of your morals. This is a loss of akhlaq. And that's what all of these du'as are ultimately pointing towards. Don't be in a situation like that. Don't put yourself in situations where you have this dependency individually, communally, and globally as an ummah. Where are we? What are we doing? These are the basic things in the du'as that are mentioned. It's not even, it's not, we don't have to discover. It's in all the books in our masajid and the centers. These du'as are there. This is what the Imam is teaching us. Okay? And I think time is a little bit short, but I'll just end with this last consequence. This is also a very major consequence. And that is that you will end up committing, and not just committing, you will end up building an entire lifestyle upon a type of shirk, which, as many of you may know, a hidden shirk. Okay, a shirk which is, it doesn't take you outside the fold of Islam. It's not kufr and mushrik. You're not a mushrik like that, but you're committing forms of polytheism. And not just committing. The idea in these du'as is, in fact, your lifestyle has become like that. Lifestyle that is built upon a one-way dependency or on others is a life that is full of shirky. You will either say statements that are, have a scent of shirk within them, or the way you behave and the way you think. That's what's going to end up happening. Allahumma ja'alni usulu bika 'inda darura wa as'aluka 'inda al-haja. Oh God, oh Allah, make me leap to you in times of distress and ask from you when I'm in need. Okay, when we are in distress, when we are in need, the first thing we do is we go to the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Sajjad is saying, no, Allah, when I am in distress, make me leap to you first. Let me make my dua to you. And let me plead to you when I'm in a miserable situation. And do not tempt me to seek help from other than you when I'm distressed. Don't make my first call of action, okay, when I'm distressed, I need someone to help get me out of this situation. As I said, as a one-way need. Okay? Or, oh Allah, don't tempt me to plead with someone who is less than you when I'm scared. So when I'm scared, let's say for my life, for my wealth, for my family, oh Allah, don't make me plead to someone who is less than you. Why would I plead to someone who is just another creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I should be pleading to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who created this person, this individual. But Imam Sajjad is saying, oh Allah, don't make me plead to someone who is less than you when I'm scared for something. Okay, because in that case, فَاسْتَحِكَّ بِذَلِكَ خِذْلَانَكَ. Because in that case, if you were to abandon me, oh Allah, then you know what? I deserved it. Anytime I had a need, anytime I had a situation I was stuck in, the last person I thought of was God. So then Imam Sajjad is saying, okay, if in that situation, if Allah were to abandon me, then I deserve it. I deserved it. I'm the one who's abandoning him. I don't want him. He's the last one on my, priority list to look up to make dua to seek from. And oh Allah, you would, I will deserve your abandonment, and I will deserve your withholding and you turning away from me. And still he says, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Okay, oh Allah, at that point I will deserve it, because that is what my entire life is based on. You are not even in the picture, oh Allah. So this is just one theme. I have a couple of different lectures made from these different themes. One is independence, one is freedom, one is, there's there's too many different themes in these du'as. But these themes are important because the circumstance in Medina in that time is also very important, right? This is not the time where the imams have all that freedom to do what, let's say, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is going to do. I think Sheikh Mufid mentions just a very few, 5, 6 true Shia followers of Imam Sajjad in 3+ decades, right? And then everybody, Imam Sadiq says, the true tashayyo in the community began to spread after Imam Baqir alayhi salam. So, but those 30 years are very important to understand, because this dua literature is talking about, societal issues, political, economic, individual, corruption, poverty. So look, all of these themes that you're seeing over here have to do with the world outside. They have to do with something to do with practicality. It's not just a dua in your mind and then you make the dua and that's it. No, it's telling you that, oh Allah, don't put us in certain situations. And remember, of course, with the dua, then you have to do the amal as well. You have to act on something so the duas are fulfilled. So these duas are telling you the ideal situation that a believer needs to be in. Two-way needs is perfectly fine. That's how humans are. But the moment it becomes one-sided, then you need to be very, very careful, especially as a mu'min and as a believer, inshallah. So tonight,